What's up, guys? My name's Jeff. That's my wife, Kim. This is my wife, Still Likes Me. Today, we're going to talk about trust in our fundamentals of marriage. This is part 2. Trust is like a plant that needs to be nourished and cared for. Without proper care, it withers and dies. Similarly, without trust, a marriage cannot survive and is doomed to fail without trust. We're going to break that down here in a couple minutes, but first, we're going to do a question.
While I pick the question, just a heads up, we're dealing with audio issues. This is the 4th time we're filming this, so if you hear any repeats or need context on anything, please let us know in the comments. Yep. And yeah, we're back to our old mics. This is dumb. So, what would you say if you could write a 140 character anonymous text message to yourself 10 years ago?
Ooh. Anonymous tweet is what that is. When Twitter first came out, it was 140 characters.
Okay. I don't have Twitter or X or whatever it's called now.
What's next?
I would write, keep your chin up. It's going to get better soon.
That's what mine means.
Okay. I'm writing it to myself. You wrote it to yourself.
Yes. What's next? Like, look up. Let's go.
Okay.
Got stuck in too many ruts. Anyway, trust. Trust is a belief that someone or something is reliable, honest, and truthful. In a marriage, trust is the foundation of a healthy and happy relationship. Trust allows couples to be vulnerable with each other, share their thoughts and feelings, and rely on each other during times of need. Trust is a big deal. Some people listen to this and can't see you do jazz hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm hilarious.
Talk. Oh my goodness. It's a podcast.
Sorry.
Why is trust important in marriage?
There's the setup. So trust is so crucial. If you don't have trust in your marriage, then how are you going to come to your spouse with the crap? So, realistically, 4th time's the charm. We're going to just, we're winging it. To recap, since we're refilming this, I had a situation come up not even a week ago now where I had a dumb thing where I did, and I had to come to you. Now, I'll just say it. I got pulled over. So I got a speeding ticket. It's the first speeding ticket that I've ever had, which is hilarious because I love my sports car. So, but that's besides the point. I knew that when I called you because I couldn't find the insurance card and I needed his help because I was on my way somewhere and I don't like that kind of a confrontation, which is also why I'm a pretty safe driver. But I knew that as soon as I called you, or in this case, I texted you, that I was going to be met with laughter, not retribution. Like, I knew that you were going to yell at me. I knew that you would find it funny, but I knew and I trusted that I was going to be safe to tell you that. And so when we talk about trust, it's also that safety. And I know we're going to get to that later, but it's that trust that I am safe telling you when I've screwed up. And it's kind of a funny situation because, I got pulled over and I was on my way somewhere. So now all of my friends are texting me these hilarious gifs about, sirens and, the police and all kinds of super fun things because my friends are great. But at the end of the day, there are bigger things that can come up in a marriage. And if you can't trust your person when you have screwed up, you're in for a whole world of hurt. Because we've all been there where we forgot to pay the light bill, or, we got in a car accident, or, there's other big things that can impact that relationship. And you should be able to go to your person and say, I made a mistake and I need you to help me fix it.
Yeah. It's safety and security, right? When you first start out, your safety and security is, I don't want to say limited, but that's the word I have in my head. Like you haven't stretched or tried to push it yet.
Yeah.
But over time, as you communicate openly and honestly, it leads to better problem-solving skills and stronger emotional connections, and then even a deeper sense of intimacy, because we're coming up on 19 years. We embrace the idea that it is us against whatever the issue is.
Yes.
And so we just talk about it. Like, let's figure it out. There's no, we can't fix it, right? Yeah, it's process of being comfortable enough to be able to call and say, hey, I messed up, knowing that I'm not going to be grumpy or frustrated, or now it's, how do we pay for it?
Yeah. How do we fix it? And as kind of a joke, Dude Dad, a content creator, posted something a couple weeks back, and he looked at his wife and he was like, remember, on this vacation, you are not the enemy. I am not the enemy. It's the kids. So it cracks me up.
Facts.
But if you can look at that, even in a joking way of, you're not the enemy. I'm not the enemy. I just forgot to pay the electric bill. Or, I was dumb and didn't see the speed limit drop 10 miles an hour. Not that I'm bitter about it or anything, but, I screwed up. I own it, and we're going to move on. But I think what's important is looking at where you're at in your relationship. There is so many times where you have the opportunity to build your partner up. And it could be, you're going to your family's house and, you're speaking into your partner, or showing those little moments of love and appreciation to further build that trust. If you're going on a trip, I try and help make sure that the house is clean and making sure all your laundry is done. And sometimes when you're in the middle of doing something else, switching over that laundry to make sure that it's going, so you have the tools that you need before you go on the trip. And you do the same thing for me.
Yeah.
But it's also those other things. Like, it's so easy that you naturally can tear down your spouse, because there's so many people out there that, the old ball and chain. I hate that. But,
I don't like it either.
It's become taboo. Like, when I meet people, they're like, tell us about yourself. I was, my name's Kim. I've been married for almost 19 years, and I still like my husband. I like hanging out with him. And it's become such a powerful conversation piece, but so many people laugh at it and they're like, oh, I wish I felt that way about my husband. I barely tolerate him. And
right. Fix it.
It really, but it's those times where your partner's not in that room and you're slowly chipping away at that foundation of trust. And there's so many times where maybe you're on the phone in the other room and I walk by and unknowingly hear that conversation. That's a moment where you can make or break that trust. If you're on the phone with someone, even if it's your buddies, and you're like, oh, Kim is doing blah, 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 blah. She's such a pain in my neck. And I'd much rather be hanging out with the boys this weekend instead of going to the grocery store with Kim. Like, if I heard that conversation, that would devastate me. And I think it's so easy. Oh, they're not in the room. I can say whatever I want. But it's what's said in the darkness that really reveals your true feelings. And as you speak those words out loud, I don't like the word manifesting, but it becomes that ideology in your head. And then you start picking up on those little nuances. Like, if you really don't like someone, you're going to notice when they breathe wrong, when they chew wrong.
Sure.
And so it's really important to speak into your partner, because the other side of that is you never know the battle that your spouse is battling internally. And, you know, if I walk by a room and I'm hearing you tear me down about wanting to go to the grocery store, you know, maybe that was my excuse to finally get to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And you're dreading it. So I'm going to say, you know what? I can go to the grocery store by myself, and you have torn and you've started ripping up that relationship.
And that's, yes. That's one of the many consequences of not doing this. How do we nurture and strengthen trust? Because it's something that takes time, right? It's not, it's there at the beginning, but it grows and gets stretched and tested over time. The first one is communication, which we talked all about last week. Couples should communicate open and honestly with each other and should share their thoughts and feelings and concerns, but be respectful and not judgmental, right? You called me and said, hey, I've got a speeding ticket. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's figure it out. Let's move forward, right? Because it's us against the problem, not us against each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of small ways, but really speaking into your person, and just as much when they're not in the room as when they are in the room. There's so many times where Jeff will be, you know, cooking dinner with the kiddos and, you know, oh, mommy's the most beautiful woman in the world. And that just pours into me. And, you know, we catcall each other all the time. It's ridiculous. My kids are hilarious because they've gotten to that age where it's like, ugh, don't kiss mommy. Oh, that's so gross. It's great. But those little moments help to build that love and fill that tank to where they're going to be able to build that trust a little bit more. But also it's those moments of communicating likes and desires and dreams. You know, sometimes it can be as simple as, I want to try a new recipe for dinner. Tell me what you think. If you're approaching it, yeah, let's try something new. Let's go somewhere new. Or, we all like, you know, dessert after the children go to bed because we're going to keep our family rating.
Yes.
But you can't have vanilla ice cream for the rest of your life. You got to try different things. Well, you know, if you want to try sprinkles on your ice cream, you should communicate with your partner. Can we try a little sprinkles? And you know what? You may be surprised by your spouse. Let's try the whipped cream too. Like just whatever that looks like in your one-on-one time. And it may not necessarily be the happy fun time. It could be, I really want to try a new hobby. Will you take pottery class with me? Will you go golfing with me?
Yeah.
And so in that moment, you can build that trust and speak into your spouse. Yeah, let's go take that pottery class. Yeah, let's go, you know, do some golf lessons. Because if you take that moment and you are like, ew, that's the stupidest idea, you've taken that olive branch and completely shut down that trust. And you're going to have to take more effort to build that back up. If you don't like it, suck it up and try it once. We have a rule of 3 in our house. You know, we tried Brussels sprouts 3 times, 3 different ways. We still don't like them.
I don't know why anybody likes them.
But we gave it a try.
I can't ever remember who said it, but there was a video out a long time ago that when we go to restaurants, we tell our waiters and waitresses how we want our meal. Have that discussion with your spouse. Hey, and not just about sprinkles and ice cream, but everything. Like, hey, park on the left side of the driveway. You know, whatever it is. But having the consistent conversation, which is the second part of building this, is being consistent, both in communicating, but also keeping the commitments. There's a guy on TikTok that said this a couple of times of... we talk all the time. Like you and I talk all the time, right? Text, phone, in person. The pauses for me to make sure that I'm paying attention to be consistent are, I need you, or would you please? Not that I'm not listening any of the other times, but those are like, okay, in our trust, we talk about a lot of things, and a lot of it's not really important in the moment, but it's just talking. But those things are like things that I need to pay attention to be consistent with my side of being reliable and trustworthy and saying, okay, my wife asked me to do this. I should get it done in the next 6 to 8 months, whatever. Consistency is a big deal because that goes towards respect.
Respect.
Right? And not just respecting each other's opinions, but feelings and boundaries, and not being criticized or belittling, right? Knowing you can call me or I can call you and say, hey, I messed up, and we're going to figure it out. There's no beating the other person up, right? We've seen too many Reddit series and read too many different articles about, couples getting grumpy with each other over things that they can't fix or things that really just don't matter.
Yeah.
And so that's part of a process.
And that's also where those I statements come into play, and avoiding absolutes, because, if on the flip side of that, if, you have forgotten to pay the power bill the last 3 months, or, over the past year, we've had our light, not actually, but could that have been a reality? Maybe. And so, hey, babe, I have noticed, and there's that I statement, I have noticed that you have been struggling to get the power bill paid. Is there something going on that I can help with? Is there something like, should we just put it on an auto payment? Or is there a better way about this? Because especially with me, I work at home, and we cannot afford for me to not work because the power is not on.
Sure.
And so it's very, this is how it impacts me. This is what I'm observing. This is how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Rather than that accusatory, because when you use absolutes like always and never, I could just as easily come with really hurtful language and say, you never get the bills paid on time. What is wrong with you? How difficult is it to just pay a bill? You always mess up on these things. It's so important, and you always affect me. And I could just really tear you down in that moment. But when you come to each other with respect, then the conversation is always going to go so much better. And it comes across as it's a we. Let's figure this out together. Yeah. Ta-da.
And then forgiveness is essential in maintaining trust. Couples should be willing to forgive each other for past mistakes and move forward with a clean slate, right?
Absolutely.
No holding grudges, right? Again, if there's deeper discussions to be had about patterns and serious issues, have those discussions. But I genuinely don't care that you got a speeding ticket.
I know.
We got to figure out how to pay for it. But that's just moving forward. Like, hey, it happened. Let's move on. And owning it, right? Like that's part of it.
Yeah. And ladies, don't keep bringing up what he said 15 years ago to his buddies when he said that dress made you look fat. Like, just don't let it go. And if it still bothers you that much, have that conversation.
Yeah.
And that goes into pattern. So if it was one slip of the tongue, 5 years ago or whatever, sometimes you got to let it go. But if it's a pattern, that's where you need to have those conversations of, I keep hearing this being said. You've said it you've said this before, and it hurts me deeply. And the fact that you were giggling about it with your buddies.
Yeah.
And what, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a situation.
And that's, because we try very much to keep those things in-house, right? That's part of the trust is the, we praise in public and figure it out in private.
Absolutely.
There's an actual phrase for that, and I just don't know what it is. But we have our discussions when it's appropriate, right? Because, bringing up that I said some dress didn't look good at dinner 15 years ago while we're at dinner does not help dinner at all.
And when you're stuck in the past, and this is not including trauma, there's other more serious, but I'm just talking in general where someone just gets butt hurt. I think I can say that.
Yeah.
Where you're just all in the feelings and it's not something that was intended to be hurtful. It's an offhanded comment. Oh, did you intend to have that extra roll? You might, you don't need that. But realistically, like, you can't keep holding on to those things because it's kind of like having something stuck between your teeth. The only person that's in pain is you, and it's just going to keep growing and it's going to keep festering and it's going to infect that relationship until the point where you completely withdraw into yourself and your spouse has no idea what's going on and it's over a dinner roll.
Yeah. That's the lack of trust and the breakdown.
Yes.
Leads to insecurity, jealousy, suspicion.
Yes.
And then even further emotional distance, resentment, and possibly infidelity. Without trust, marriage is bound to suffer. And just everything can be recovered from with a couple of exceptions, but that's a different discussion. But when you don't trust each other, the rest of it kind of just doesn't work.
Yeah, but you got to both be willing to get better, because if you're stuck at, if you peaked in high school and you're still trying to be the college quarterback and the cheerleader, that's not growth, and it's not healthy. You should both be growing in the same direction
together. Trust is essential. It's the foundation, along with communication, of a healthy and happy relationship. We should nurture and strengthen trust by communication, being consistent, showing respect, and being willing to forgive and move on. All right. This is a serious issue. If you feel like you and your spouse are going through something that is a little bit deeper than this, please go find professional help. We are not it. We are just hanging out, having discussions about things that we face to share with you guys. My name's Jeff. That's my wife, Kim. We're at My Wife Still Likes Me, and we will see you next week when we talk about part 3. Later.
Bye.